All right, so they came out with a new film version of the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel, or is this what is called Gretel and Hansel? And the reason for that, I'll get to in a minute. And honestly, I actually kind of enjoyed this movie. It is a very well shot movie. Like every shot is framed super well. It is super beautiful, and it's very creepy imagery, very creepy atmosphere. Like once they enter the witch's house, the whole atmosphere of the movie is very, very creepy. Now, if you're going into the movie and you're expecting it to be like the super scary movie, like the trailers make this movie seem like it's going to be a lot scarier than it was. It's not. It's not like a super jump scare horror movie. It's really more of a psychological horror movie. Like a lot of the scares come from dreams that Gretel is having after she eats some of the witch's food about like, these creepy things that she's seeing, and she wakes up and it's like, well, did she really see it, or was it just a nightmare caused by the food she ate? So it really messes with her mind and the audience's mind, so that's really well done. It plays with the psychological horror aspect of it very well. In fact, I don't think there was a single jump scare in this entire film. This really is more of a movie where the scares come from just the atmosphere of the film, because it is a very slow, quiet movie, but it's not boring. Even though it's slow, it's never boring, because there is that sense of anticipation of what is going to happen and sort of what's really going on with the witch. And it really lets you soak it in and process what's going on. And there were a lot of similarities to Coraline, especially with when she enters the witch's house and she can hear the voices of all the other kids that she killed and ate. That's very similar to Coraline with the ghost kids. She's very much the other mother, especially because she's trying to get Gretel to stay with her. And there's a little bit of a twist at the end about Gretel and why the witch wants her specifically, and some people are going to find the twist really stupid, but I was fine with it. I thought it kind of made sense, and I was fine with it. The reason it's called Gretel and Hansel is because Hansel is barely important in this movie, as he is not a character. He only has a few lines, and he really doesn't do much throughout the film. He's more of a plot device than he is a character. He's really more motivation for Gretel to try and stop the witch and to get out of the cottage. And also, there's also kind of, it's not a terribly big age gap, but there is a little bit of an age gap. Normally in the fairy tale versions, they're about the same age, if not the same age, but Hansel is very much around 6 or 7, maybe 8, and Gretel is very much a young teenager. And another really kind of, it's not a huge issue, it is a nitpick, but they have American accents. Even though it's a fairy tale from Germany, and it's Gretel and Hansel, they're supposed to be German, but they have American accents, which isn't a huge issue. It really is a nitpick, but it kind of distracted a little bit. It was like, okay, you could have at least faked a German accent or so. I don't know. Or gotten German actors, I don't know. But the actress who plays the witch is very good. She is very creepy. She does a really good job of just being creepy. And like I said, the trailers make it seem like this is going to be a really scary movie, but it's not. It's not terribly scary. However, it is PG-13. It is not a film for children, even though it is based off a fairy tale, because, yes, the original fairy tale is very dark, because it is about a witch trying to kill and eat 2 children, but they really play up the dead children aspect of this film. Like, you see leftover body parts. I mean, it's PG-13, so it's not terribly graphic, but you see, like, leftover body parts from the other kids that she killed and ate, and there is a lot of really creepy atmosphere and imagery, so it's not a kid's film, even though it is based off of a fairy tale. So just keep that in mind. But I still thought it was a very well-directed, very well-shot movie. I thought, even though it was slow, that wasn't really an issue with the pacing. I think that actually worked in the film's favor. I really enjoyed this film. I would check it out. So I would say Gretel and Hansel gets a B, an 8 out of 10, and a 4 out of 5 stars from me.